Hello, level up listeners. This is your host, Dr. Lewin. I wanted to jump in here because I wanted to share something with you that I have experienced teaching my class, but also to the people that I just recently met as well, and being on a live show made me a little self reflection deeper than I usually do. And I wanted to share this information to expand on conversations that I have with Raquelita, right? The baby Raquel. Okay, so this is a class that I'm teaching. It's a leadership class, but I want to talk about it because I think that it is relevant to everyone. This is about linking strategic vision and strategic action. I don't have a specific numbers when it comes to, how many people or percentage of leaders actually fall into this bucket, right? So I would say 90%. I'm not sure about 100%. 90 to 95% of all of us falls into this bucket when it comes to a visionary and then with action. So there's four buckets. The first one is a doer. I'm sorry, the dreamer, then the effective leader, the uninvolved, and the doer. What does that mean, CJ? The dreamer is someone who basically have a vision, who dreams about their retirement, their ideal career, their ideal business. How are they going to sustain it? What does that look like in the future, 3 to 5 years, 10 years from now? All of these things, the ideal vacation, the unlimited cakes, I don't know, the unlimited business and customer and niche and network that you would have, right? That's you're dreaming. And I say, when you dream, go big or go home because it is free to dream. Go for it, right? We start with a dream. Like even Martin Luther King says, I have a dream, right? He started with a dream. Now, we move on to the effective leader. An effective leader is someone with a dream, but they're doing something about it, right? And the doing something about could be minimal to survive in an organization or through their work or through their coaching business, being an entrepreneur, whatever it is, right? Really reflect if you did you do everything you can to get to be that effective leader. An effective leader can be in many ways. You could be a teacher, you could be an executive, you could be an employee that's a team lead, whatever it is. But you're doing something about it, but you could potentially take it to the next level and level up, but you're not yet, right? Because you're overwhelmed with other things, but you're still an effective leader. Then you have a person who falls into a bucket of day in day out, same thing, same food, same people you see, same work you do for the last 5, 10 years, same friends of circles. You're not networking. You're pretty much uninvolved with everything. You just think life just happens to you, and it is what it is, and it's already written for you, and you do what's necessary, and that's it. And you basically go on LinkedIn, kind of look up people, read, and move on. But then you secretly hope that you would talk to these people, but you're not, because you're like, I don't really care. I just like to read and scroll like a TikTok would or a Facebook, whatever, right? That's the uninvolved. You have a little bit of vision, but you're like, it'll happen if it happens. If it's meant to be, it's meant to be. It's going to go, right? Now, do you have the doer? The doer is someone who dreams big, but someone who's doing something about their vision, whatever that is, right? And all of us and every one of us, and you're lying to yourself if you said you're not, you want to be a doer, but you don't know how. Like, okay, I want to own my own business, but that is huge and that is so overwhelming to think about all the taxes and all the people and oh my gosh, where am I going to find things and marketing and social media? There's way too many social media. I don't know. I mean, the questions just keeps going, right? But the doer wants to do something. It's itching. Just you don't know where to start, right? And I say start with reflecting on yourself and list down your skills. What are you good at? And be honest with yourself. I would say do a SWOT analysis and have about 5 bullet points, very succinct. Don't write down a whole sentence when you're doing a SWOT analysis in yourself, right? because you know yourself. You can explain it to yourself. What is your strength? You could be, I'm a great connector. I'm a great salesperson. I am a great communicator, right? I like look at your skills and your weakness. You're like, I'm stubborn. I actually am a perfectionist. I have analysis by paralysis all the time because I think about things and I get overwhelmed because I'm thinking deeply. And now I don't even know what to do anymore. That could be a weakness, right? Because you can't move forward. You're just thinking too much. And you have a threat. It could be your attitude. You always, sometimes more likely, 90 to 70%, you're pessimistic instead of optimistic. But your intentions in your head is really good. It's just that the way you communicate with people, you're pessimistic. That's a threat because you're repelling good people, right? And then you look at your opportunity. You're like, wow, I'm surrounded with great people. What am I doing? Why am I not engaging? Right? Be realistic when you want to do your SWOT analysis. Once you look at and list all of your strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats, look at your threat and how it can be, okay, an opportunity for change and leveling up. Look at your weakness and see what you can do to connect it with your strengths, right? If you're a great communicator, but like you're a perfectionist, you need to communicate yourself and write things down and said, okay, it is not okay to be perfect. I'm just going to be living in this chaotic world and perfectionism is going to have to go on the beach somewhere along the shoreline because today I'm just going to live happy and content. That's it. And if I'm doing something that's positive and it's tended to give a good vibe, that's good enough. And if I can't post every day and I can post once a week, that's going to have to be good enough. Right. And you're like, oh, good enough. Well, maybe it's not good enough. Well, in your head, if it makes you happy and content right now and not get you stressed out, go for it. That's all it is. Don't make excuses like, oh, my friend's gonna, who cares? If they're truly your friend, they will be there for you. Right? Sometimes we make too much in our head that it's not even real. Like it's not reality. You're just thinking about it, right? Based on assumption from the past of what people did to you. But these people are different. So you got to make sure that, right? Now, let's look at strategic leadership. Word for word, the ability to anticipate. Let's think about that word's ability to anticipate, right? When you're anticipating and you're able to anticipate, you usually extrapolate information from your past. The only way you can build that vision of 3 to 5 years from now is because you're looking at your lessons learned. As human being, we tend to be pessimistic. Our brain tend to be pessimistic. So then you're going to look at all the things that went bad in your life. Then you're going to anticipate that 3 to 5 years from now, no matter what I do, it's still going to be the same results because you've tried in the past. What you don't understand is that your lessons learned from the past is not to focus on the negative results, is to focus on the journey itself of what you have learned, right? Some people, you basically have failed projects, failed businesses, failed marriages, failed relationships. Don't blame it on other people. You made choices within that time that now became failed. But what kind of choices did you make? Did you had a bad attitude? Were you selfish? Right? Were you too much for somebody and you're just blaming it on them, them not being able to handle you? What was it? What was your lesson learned? What kind of choices did you make that led you to this failed whatever? And then extrapolate that lesson learned and said, okay, maybe I shouldn't have that bad attitude. Maybe it was my insecurity actually that got me into trouble and have all of these issues. Maybe it was my upbringing who have given me so much trauma that led me to my choices to do this way. I know I have done that in my reflection. I've been abandoned as a child, so I have an abandonment issue. So when I feel like someone is going to leave, I abandon them first. I'm like, jump ship, right? But your ability to anticipate, make sure, okay, that is so powerful. Make sure that when you anticipate something and you're assuming something, that it's you're extrapolating from the mind of what was my lesson learned. Not because, oh, I failed in the past, therefore I'm going to fail today and in the future. Don't do that. You're just killing yourself in the foot slowly. Don't do that. When you anticipate, look at lessons learned from the past and said, oh, wow, reflect on the choices that you make. Go back, reverse engineer your life by going back to your choices. At the end of the day, it's all your choice, right? And then it says, envision the future. What would be my future 3 to 5 years from now if I just network with a bunch of good people that give me good vibes? So far, for the last 2 weeks, it's been really great. I've been getting so much highs on my heart, my butterfly. I love the people that I'm attracting because their postings on LinkedIn are positive. That's me. That's my reflection, right? I'm envisioning that 3 to 5 years from now, if I continue to attract people that have the same mission as I am, which is to inspire the world, we're going to make a difference slowly but surely, right? That's how I envision the future. And it says maintain flexibility. Yes, nothing is permanent, nothing is set. All of these friends that's giving me butterflies could be my best enemy. Who knows? Nobody cares at that point. I'm just caring about today and how they make me feel, right? Things change, people change. And I truly believe that some people come in your life for a reason, not for a season. Sometimes some people come for a season and not for a good reason. Oh, wow, I'm a poet and didn't know it. Now, think strategically. How do you create strategy? You create strategy, okay, based on your past experiences. Again, you have to think, are my experiences in the past with all the negative things that I have done going to bleed onto my future? Maybe. But if you keep continuing focusing on the negative things rather than the journey itself, on the choices that you made, you're definitely going to repeat the history, right? Your future is just your history. People, sometimes you meet people where they have a rock and they're like, why am I bleeding? And they keep hitting their head at the same rock. Hello? Change something. Remember that your choices will always have an outcome. Okay. And sometimes you can't anticipate the outcome of whatever choice that you made. But if you stay to the core of your being, which is really just staying positive, then you will be okay. Right? Now, what you got to do is, how are you going to use strategy? You use strategy through looking at your past's journey and the choices that you made, not necessarily the outcome of whatever failed stuff that you did. Right? And then from there, you can initiate the change. You can't change something if you're going to repeat the same thing 10 years ago. The only way you can't repeat it, you can't repeat history, is reflect on the choices that you made. How are you going to compete or show competitive advantage? Here's another thing that I have a problem with. People will sell you, including like other people, like, I'm going to sell you a cookie cutter, whatever. You're going to get so much information in it. This is what you're going to do. And it's going to be successful for you. You're going to have unicorn, you're going to have glitters everywhere in 5 years from now, or 2 years from now, or 6 months from now, right? Be very leery on those things when you don't have to work anything and it's like rainbows. It's not true. There are always up and downs in our life. But also think that these people that created all of these things, they reflect on their choices that they made, and they created a system that works for them. That's a key word, that works for them. The only reason why they even have this success is because they made a different choice. And they have lessons learned of the choices that they made in the past. And if they're working with a client and the client is also flexible, adaptable, and willing to learn, they're customizing whatever they have learned to that client, and they're helping their client walk this journey specific to that client. That's a keyword, right? Because we are nothing alike with other people. We are different. Each one of us is different. So if you're creating a competitive advantage by reflecting on the choices that you made, make sure that all of those things that people are giving you, and giving you steps and actionable items and workbooks and things like that, it works only if you work at it and you really reflect at it, right? Those are just tools. We have all the tools in the world. Do we use them, all of them, at the same time? No. We only use them when we need it. But if you need change, you need to use those tools. And the only way to use those tools is to make it fit for you and your needs and customize it to your own experiences. I could tell you, do three main things every day, and you don't understand what that means because there's like a million things to do, right? So ask me, those three things are big, huge things because our brain is always constant. It's malleable, right? It's flexible. Our brain is like a sponge. You pour water in it, it just keeps sponging. You put bad information in it, it just keeps sponging. That's why people say, you are your environment. Because if you reflect on it, if all of the things that are bad happening to you is around people who have also negative issues, you tend to have one because that's all your environment. So if you have a good vibe and you have good environment, things will change for you, right? Even on the days that you're down, because that's part of life. You have to accept that. But your competitive advantage comes only coming from your own self reflection to make sure that you know your own experiences. By doing the SWOT analysis that I told you, you can extrapolate those skills and work on those weaknesses while also reviewing your threats to become an opportunity for you to level up. Okay. Your competitive advantage is you. You are unique, but you need to figure out yourself, right? You can't just copy everybody's journey and think it's going to fit me. I'm going to be a unicorn and have glitters. It doesn't work. You're looking at the lessons learned from their successes, but you don't see behind the curtains of all their failures, right? Because we never want to see failure. We only want to see success, which is BS, quite honestly. You want to look at your failure so you can actually extrapolate information on what not to do the next time that you see the same thing, right? And on this, it's about advantage for organizations in the future. And technically, it's an advantage for you in the future and for your organization if you're an employee or you're a coach or you're a new entrepreneur. Now, when you're looking at the domain of strategic leadership, and this is super important. The reason I said that is this. Remember, I told you need to create a vision and mission, right? I had this conversation with Raquel also in the conversation we had with Mike for Women's Month, right? I said create a mission and a vision and stick to it. And this is why. When you create these mission and vision and strategy and mechanism, I'm going to talk about it in detail. You have to ask the question, where are you headed? Right? Where do you want to go from now? Now you're passionate about being a public speaker, right? Or create more joy or, let people know that you exist and that your business exists for this reason. But what is your vision? What do you see yourself 3 to 5 years from now? I don't ever advocate 10 years because I can't do it. I can, but I'd rather not, right? I don't know 10 years from now what's going to happen. I have a vision, but I would rather see more of 3 to 5 years that I can grasp. Realistically, I can grasp 3 to 5 years from now. Where I want to be headed, I want to be where I'm inspiring the rest of the world, more people in the world to share their story and adversity so that other people who's going through the same story could be inspired to have hope, right? To keep moving forward, to see light when it's so dark in their life, to see that someone out there is going through the same thing and you are not alone, brothers and sisters, right? So 3 to 5 years from now, where are you headed? Whether it's for your business or for yourself, your career, you want to retire, you want to have, unlimited funds, you want to create wealth and legacy for your children, whatever that is, ask yourself, what is my ideal life 3 to 5 years from now? Where am I heading? Right? And then ask yourself, who are you? What's your mission in life? For me, my mission is to inspire the world. That's my mission. My vision is 3 to 5 years from now, I could inspire a lot more people in the world, more than 200 million for sure. There's 7.9 billion people out there, right? I have long ways to go, guys. I'm a bleep. I need your help on that, right? And how my mission is that. How do you get there? This is the strategy part where you actually look at your lessons learned from the past, not necessarily why that you failed, but necessarily like how did you fail? What choices did you make that made you fail or feel like you failed, right? Or maybe it was successful. What are the things and the choices that you made that made you successful? And continue that pattern, right? Reflect on your SWOT analysis for yourself because your strategy that you will create is going to be based on those information. So, how do I get there 3 to 5 years from now when inspiring the rest of the world, right? I'm going to get there through my podcast. I'm going to get there through your story, whoever is listening and watching this. I'm going to get there through collaboration. I'm going to get there through networking, right? I'm going to get there through creating courses because, on top of you listening to my podcast, I want to help you personally by creating classes that you can do it on your own time that will help you gain that experience with actionable items and examples. And you get to talk to me and the team 1 hour a week to see where is this fit my lifestyle right now? How is this going to customize my choices? Right? The strategy is for us to help you is through not only listen to the podcast, but like take classes with us so we can help you. And we're going to make it affordable for you so that you can help yourself as part of your professional development. You're investing in yourself. How do you get there? Create a strategy. Now, the last part is mechanism for execution. What are you doing right now to get into your strategy, to meet your mission, and to have realistic vision be done? What are you doing today? Today, I'm networking. Today, I'm giving you information. Today, I'm doing a podcast. Today, I'm teaching, right? I'm doing something today to create that strategy to keep going so that I can meet my vision of inspiring the world. And that 3 to 5 years from now, I'm hoping that that will multiply, right? So that I will leave you with all that information is to make sure that your mission, your vision is there, the strategy is there, but you are doing something today. Remember, do not overwhelm yourself. 3 to 5 things that you need to think about, but do only three big, huge things today that your brain said in your checklist, like, oh, I did this. Oh, I did this. Oh, I did that. Three big things, guys. Okay. Stick to that. And I will let you go for now. I'm hoping that I can help somebody kind of look at that and ensure that I'm here. If you have any questions, fill them up in the comment section. And I will see you hopefully the next time I have things inkling in my brain that I would like to share. Okay. Have a fantastic day, evening, afternoon. And this is your host, Dr. Leland. Please check us out, Lua by DocLeland.com, LuaBydocLeyland.com. Have a fantastic day again, evening, and thank you for being here.